So, where we're going next is... So we've started to outline our tentative plan here. We want to do the sanity check with you to start to get some feedback. Nick has explained we want to focus on early in life, potential latent entrepreneurs, and what we call co-preneurs, the people who would work with those entrepreneurs, the kids, the students, the mentors. We see that the Enviro Schools movement in New Zealand has gone from tip to toe right through schools, from primary to secondary, right through. And we should be able to see quite an interesting longitudinal impact of the kind of approach that we are working on. We've already started to talk with the Maori of Pacific Island Affairs and the Young Enterprise Trust. Ministry. Yeah. So, your turn. What's positive about what we've been doing? What's improvable? What's interesting? What's your recommendation? Should we keep going? And will you join us? Okay, now we haven't got time to go through each of those questions one by one, so we'll just go for scramble. All right? What did you like about what we're proposing to do? Yep.
I'm interested in what was the interaction like with the young people? I'm interested in hearing some of the transformative questions you may have got from the young people involved.
From school.
Right. Good. Transformative questions.
Did anything come up that maybe took you by surprise?
Well, the whole thing's taken us by surprise.
The thing that they find most empowering, I think, and transformative, is this idea there's not one right answer. That a lot of them will spend a long time looking for what's the right way to do this, and then they figure out, oh, actually it doesn't matter as long as I do something. And so I think that freedom to express yourself in a way that's difficult for them to get their heads around. I've had students from I was working secondary for a long time, and they couldn't switch from, say, physics, chemistry to business studies because it was right answer, any answer will do, provided you can support it. And so I think that's a really mind-changing thing for them.
Yeah.
I really like the concept. I like pretty much I like anything that helps engage the learner more and become more interested in learning and I think outside the normal boundaries of learning. I think from some of the things that I've observed in some of the schools that we see is that there's a lot of academies that have been set up specifically for Pacific. We've got the Science Academy, we've got the Sports Academy, these various academies to try and lift this incentive and aspirations to be, say, a doctor or go into the medical field. I think one of the things that I've had gripes about is that we're laying aspirations within these children to aim and go towards what it is that you're trying to aspire to. But what we haven't done is created scaffolding to enable the child to be successful within that educational framework. And I'm talking about the literacy and numeracy, and we've got this big charge about NCEA. So when you lay these foundations and aspirational ideals into the child, how do you then reinforce their learning inside of these structures so that when they do exit, they've got those skills to be able to fulfill those aspirations? So follow me. So I'll give you an example. For one, we've got a Science Academy, wonderful, and they want the children to go into medical areas of medical sciences. But what they haven't done is help them to achieve the NCEA levels required to actually enter into those pathways. And so those frameworks have to wrap around that child in order to uphold the aspirations.
Yeah, I see it as something that is going to, the whole thinking around this, it depends a lot on the resources that are going to be available and what we're working through. And one of the challenges that we came across was exactly that. How is it that it's going the not only the students but also the teachers and the schools going to be supported. And I think that's something that needs a lot of thinking and a lot of development before actually going into that space. And one of the things when we started talking with the YES coordinator just the other day, it was about making sure that we do tick the boxes in terms of what is the approach, the methodology, the resources that are going to be required, and getting that buy-in from the environment, the schools in particular. The principals have to be on board, the teachers. There's a lot of issues at the moment with teaching staff, particularly in those departments, accounting and finance. So there's a lot of areas that need to be explored and developed before. And you're right, Linda. It's not just about coming up with a concept and then going and implementing it. It's all these other things that need to be.
Could I make a comment too on that? Because I hear what you're saying, and I really agree. If you set an aspirational goal and don't provide a pathway, it's really not a goal, it's a dream, and it can be very destructive because it encourages failure, which I think is really bad. But I would say about entrepreneurial education, one of the things that it does is it increases self-efficacy, because they find, well, actually they can do stuff. The educational programs for these things are well thought out and a programmed series of steps, so that at every step they get a little cycle of success and renewal or whatever. So I would say that this entrepreneurial education has a freedom around not having to perform academically that increases self-efficacy, enabling them to see academia as less of a problem.
Solution-oriented.
Yeah.
Well, we've probably got time for one quick question, and then we'll have to sum things up.
It's not a question, it's just a thought about what your program alluded to. I like the fact that you're not only targeting the year 13 or year 12 students at high school level, but you've gone right back at the beginning. For instance, like you mentioned, go back to primary school especially. And I think that's where it needs to start, because from there, you will transition those kids right up to high school before they leave high school to come to tertiary and have that understanding of entrepreneurship. And from there, you also, not only the child's moving along with them, but their families as well. So they get to understand that as well. So I think it's very important that that we target at that very early age. A lot of the programs that we do have at high school is that we target the year 13 and year 12 students, which are, I think it's a bit late, but I think it needs to go back at the beginning.
Marcus, did you want to say something quickly? Or?
No, I'm okay.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic project. That's what I was.
Thank you very much.